my name's Liz, I'm the baker that sews. Welcome to my channel if you're new, and welcome back if you are a subscriber. As always, it's really lovely to have you here as I share my sewing journey. So welcome back to one of my Sunday sewing catch-ups, and we're on episode 66. As usual, I've got lots of different things that I want to share with you, including lots of things that I've been making. I've enjoyed sewing some things up for myself, but also sewing some things up for Lola, which I can't wait to share with you. My bumper parcel of fabric from Studio Jepson's arrived, so I thought I'd show you all the amazing things that came in that £50 bundle. I've got a pattern I wanted to talk about, and then some sewing plans and lots of other things. So before I dive into all of that, I'll let you know what I'm wearing. And I'm actually wearing, on the bottom half, I'm wearing something that I did get finished this week as part of a blog post that will be coming over on the Backstitch website. So I'm not going to go into a massive amount of detail about how I got on with the patterns, because I'll talk about that in my blog, and then hopefully when that goes live I can let you know, and I'll link it in the description once it's gone live. It hasn't gone live yet, I'm not quite sure what date it's going to be published. But I'm wearing a Tilling the Buttons Tabitha t-shirt. We went to Kew Gardens this morning, so I popped on the joggers because I needed to get some photos of me wearing them, and then I just popped on a lilac t-shirt in some cotton sweatshirting fabric. I think this was a loop back jersey fabric that I got from Hey So Sister. I got this colourway, and then I also got like a pistachio green colourway, and then I've just got it on with the Sunday tracksuit joggers, which was a pattern that loads of people recommended, and I absolutely love this pattern. And this was part of the blog post for Backstitch. So the fabric was given to me, but it was up to me what I wanted to turn them into. And I wanted to turn the sweatshirting fabric into some joggers and a zip up top, but I wanted it to be like a colour blocked joggers and colour blocked top, and I wanted to have lots of fun playing around with the two colours. So I picked a grey and a pink, like a rose pink, and I've had a go at just playing around with the colours on the joggers and also on the top. So I'll stand up so you can see what they look like, and I'll put a picture in of me wearing the joggers so you can see. I haven't got the zip up jacket on because it's too warm to wear it indoors, and the fleecy fabric is just so gorgeous. But yeah, these are the joggers. So they've got a drawstring. I reversed the colour of the waistband to match the colour of the legs. So the front legs, I cut one in grey and one in the rose pink, and then on the back you can see that I did the opposite. So I've got the rose pink and then I've got the grey. I didn't match the waistband on the back. I didn't mismatch the waistband on the back like I did on the front, just because I would have ended up with 4 separate lines, and I didn't want that. So the joggers don't have inseam pockets, they've just got pockets on the bottom area there. They're super comfortable and they're a really relaxed fit, which was exactly what I wanted. And then at the bottom, you've got this really interesting like turn up detail, and I've just gone with a contrast for the front, and it's the same there. And I really love the fit of these joggers. It's a really great pattern, and this is definitely going to become my sort of go-to joggers pattern, because they're just really relaxed and slouchy while still fitting me really nicely, and made in this fabric from Backstitch. Honestly, it's so comfortable. It's a fleece backed sweatshirting, and it's so warm. Kept me really cozy and warm on our walk this morning. And then to go with the joggers, I have sewn up the Friday Pattern Company Arlo track jacket, and here it is. And again, I've had fun with the colour blocking. So I'll stand up so you can see, but I've got predominantly pink on the front with a grey zip, and then I've done a grey band at the bottom, and then the pocket's got this grey sweatshirting, so you get a little flash of grey. And then we've got the grey collar, and then on the back I've done a little bit of colour blocking as well. So I've got the grey band at the bottom, pink on the bottom half of the back part of the zip up top, and then grey. And then I decided to do different coloured sleeves. So I've got a pink sleeve and I've got a grey sleeve, and then I've just used the grey cuffing for the cuffs, and then also for the bottom. I really took my time sewing this up because I wanted to make sure when I was putting the zip in that the bottom matched, this section matched, and the collar section matched. I actually unpicked my zip a couple of times because it was ever so slightly off by like a couple of millimeters, and it was just really annoying me. And it was the same with the pockets. I ended up unpicking the pockets once I'd sewn this section because it was ever so slightly off, and I'm really pleased that I did take my time with that. There will be lots of information in the blog post about how I got on sewing up the Arlo track jacket and also the Sunday tracky bottoms. and there'll be lots of top tips and things as well. They do still have this gorgeous fleece fabric. I don't know if you can see the texture on the inside. It's so snuggly and warm, and they've got it in lots of different colours, so I will link it down below if you're interested in buying the sweatshirting fabric. It is so comfortable and it just feels really lovely and snuggly and warm as well. And I think this jacket with the joggers is going to be like my go-to to pop on when I get home from work, or at the weekend if I'm just lounging around at home, or I could wear it out as well. I wore it out to Kew Gardens this morning and felt really comfortable, but I also could see like just a t-shirt going with the joggers. I could also see this going with lots of different things that I've got in my wardrobe as well, and I really love those two colours together. I think they go really nicely together as well. So I'll let you know when that blog post has gone live over on the Backstitch website. But those are the first two things that I've been sewing up this week. They were almost finished. I just had a few little bits to finish. And the main thing on the jacket was putting the zip in, which took me a really long time because I unpicked it quite a few times because I was just being really fussy about making sure that everything matched up. But I'm really pleased with that. The next two things that I've sewn up for myself are the same pattern, and it's a free pattern by Alice Irvine, and it's the flat fronted skirt. So I talked a couple of weeks ago about having two cotton poplins that I'd recently bought. Well, there was 3 cotton poplins, but one of the cotton poplins I wanted to turn into a dress. So I had this gorgeous carrot cotton poplin. I just absolutely love it. It's a bit creased because it's just been on my chair, and I've actually been sitting on it whilst I've been sewing this morning. So yeah, it's just got a flat fronted waistband, and then you've got elastic in the back, so it creates all these gathers. You can put pockets in, but I didn't have enough of the fabric, so I haven't got pockets. And then this stops, I think it just stops at my knee. I used all of the fabric that I had to make this skirt, and I'm really looking forward to wearing that to work. And then I did exactly the same with the beetroot fabric, and I love the combination of the green with this really bright sort of pinky purple. I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. Those two colours work so nicely together. And I had a little bit of fun with this one in terms of hemming the skirt. So it's the same thing. It's got flat fronted waistband at the front, and then it's got elastic in the back, which creates all these lovely gathers. And then on the bottom of the skirt, on my machine, I've got a faff sewing machine, and there's an option to do decorative stitches. And I don't really use the decorative stitches very often, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you. I accidentally sort of cut a teeny weeny little hole. I'm probably not going to be able to find it now. In the skirt, I've interfaced it. Oh, there it is. I cut the tiniest little hole. It was like pinprick size, but I was worried that if I didn't cover it up with anything, in terms of like stitches, to stop the hole from getting bigger, I was worried that over time that hole would just get bigger and then I wouldn't be able to wear the skirt. So I used one of my decorative stitches. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I've sewn a little leaf just over the corner of the beetroot, and actually because it's got all these leaves from the beetroot anyway, I don't think, and because it's gathered, you can't really see that there's a leaf there. But when I did that, I then felt really inspired to use the same decorative stitch on the hem of the skirt. I'm just going to see if I can hold it up to show you, and that is exactly what I've done along the bottom. So I've just kind of not replicated the leaves because they're completely different, but I thought I'd just have a little nod to the leaves of the beetroot along the bottom of the skirt, and it just goes all the way along. It took me absolutely ages to sew that, but I'm really pleased. It's just a nice little detail on a really fun skirt, and I'm really looking forward to wearing this one to work as well. And I think actually this t-shirt might go really nicely with the skirt. So there's 2 more skirts for my work wardrobe. I think I might be over time a little bit annoyed that I didn't put pockets in, but I just didn't have enough of the fabric, and I didn't want to use different fabric. Not that you would be able to see that because of the way that you insert the pockets and the way that you sort of make sure that you secure them in place so they don't peep out. But I was just a little bit worried that you might get a little flash of a different fabric. So I didn't put pockets in the skirts. But I'll just have to make sure that I'm wearing a jacket or a jumper or a cardigan that has got pockets in, because I always love to put like tissues and things in my pockets, especially when I'm at work, or I'll always have like post-it notes or pens in my pockets. So those are the next 2 things that I've sewn up this week for myself. And then I had lots of fun sewing up using this absolutely gorgeous floral fleece fabric that I got from Stitch and Ink. Now, when I mentioned this fabric last weekend, I can't remember who it was, but thank you to the person that let me know that Pound Fabrics have this fabric in stock. If they've still got it, I'll link it down below. When I checked on their website, they had loads of it in stock, and it was really reasonably priced as well. So if they've got any left, I will link it down below. Sorry, I've got a bit of thread from a fabric that I've dug out. So I had this gorgeous fabric, and Lola had requested a hoodie, and I knew that I was going to use a pattern from the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book, because I just used these 2 patterns for myself to create some loungewear. And the patterns that I used were the Tilly and the Buttons Stella hoodie and also the joggers, but I did adapt the hoodie like I did for myself. So you can see on here it doesn't have a hemband, but Lola wanted a hemband, so I just chopped a little bit of the length off, and then I've just finished it with black ribbing that I got from First for Fabrics that arrived, and I'll share that with you in a second. But when I was cutting out the hoodie, I had enough of the fabric to turn the rest of it into some joggers for Lola, which she's absolutely thrilled about. And I will put pictures in of me wearing all the garments I've shared, but also of Lola wearing her garments too. So I used the fabric to sew up the hoodie. I used black cuffing or ribbing to make the cuffs. And then I also used it to line the hood. I have put a drawstring in for the hoodie, and I've also put a drawstring in for the joggers. And then I used black ribbing for the cuffs on the trousers, but I didn't for the waistband, because I knew that the waistband would be absolutely fine with the fleece fabric because it's got elastic in. And then, yes, I shortened the length of the hoodie bodice so that I could put a black hemband on there for Lola as well. So here is the hoodie. I've got loads of loose threads from where I've been sewing. Here's the hoodie in this fab fabric. So you can see that I've lined the hood just in black ribbing, and then she's got the black drawstring, and then we've got the black cuffs, and then on the bodice you'll be able to see that's where I've just put the hemband, and then I have added the pocket because she wanted the pocket. You probably can't see that because of the busyness of the fabric, but yeah, she's just got like the kangaroo pouch on the bottom, but I'll put pictures in so you can see what she looks like wearing this. And then to go with that, I had enough of the fabric to sew up some Stella joggers, which she's absolutely loving, with the pockets. And then, yeah, she's got the drawstring, and then she's got the black cuffing on the bottom for the cuffs going around the ankles. And she's worn this already loads. They've actually got a pyjama day at school on Friday, and she's going to wear the joggers, and she's also going to wear the hoodie as her like loungewear kind of pyjama set. And I think she'll be super snuggly and cozy. And my husband is very jealous of the fleece set that Lola's got. Even though I've sewn up a couple of pairs of loungewear for him recently, I think he's now got his eye on some fleece fabric. So there'll probably be a hoodie and jogger set in some fleece fabric for my husband soon, I'm sure. I've seen some camouflage fabric that he might like, or I've seen some dinosaur fabric that he might like. But yeah, unexpected make with the joggers. I wasn't sure if I'd have enough of the fabric left, but I had 2 meters of the fabric, and that was enough to sew up the Stella hoodie and also the joggers for Lola, and she is thrilled, and I'm thrilled too. I did make the hoodie oversized, so I'm hoping that I can borrow it as well. I'm sure she'll have it on permanently, so I won't actually be able to wear them. But yeah, they're a really fun make, and they really made me smile, and they made her smile too. So that's everything that I've been sewing up this week. I have bought a pattern which has just been re-released by Tilly and the Buttons, so I thought I'd talk about the pattern. Hasn't arrived yet, but I'm hoping it arrives in the post in the next couple of days, and I've seen so many gorgeous versions of this top already. It's a pattern that they released ages ago, but they've just re-released it in their extended size range, and it is the Tilly and the Buttons Agnes t-shirt. And I was sitting on the fence as to whether I needed this, but I've seen so many beautiful versions that have really swayed me on Instagram. But then on the Tilly and the Buttons blog, where they were talking about the t-shirt pattern, they've also shared a hack where you can use it to make a dress. And I really love the feature of this top where it's got like ruching on the shoulders, and then it's also got, what do they call it, like a ruched sweetheart neckline, and I really love the look of that. So the pattern is the Agnes t-shirt. It's a new re-release from Tilly and the Buttons, and they've re-released it in their extended size range. So it's a UK 6 to 34. So I know that I'll be able to use this for Ruby and Lola, but I'll also be able to use it for myself. And I'm definitely going to have a go at hacking it into a dress. So they just shortened the bodice and then created a gathered skirt with two rectangle pieces of fabric. So I'm looking forward to doing that. And I've got some jersey fabric in my stash that I think would work for that. So it's a close fitting top. It's got a scoop neckline, or it's got this really lovely ruched sweetheart neckline. You can do full length sleeves, or you can do crop sleeves that stop just above the elbow. To be honest, I'll probably do crop sleeves that stop here because I like that length of sleeve. And then it's got this ruching detail on the shoulders as well, which I really love the look of. In terms of fabrics, they recommend light to medium weight stretch knit fabric like a cotton jersey or a viscose jersey. And I'm looking forward to giving this a try. I think I'm going to try the top first, but then I'm definitely going to hack it into a dress. And I think that'll be a really cute sort of outfit to wear in the spring, summer. In the spring, I might have to wear tights with it or a cardigan, but in the summer, I think it'll make a really cute dress as well. And it's got some really lovely features as well. And it's a pattern that I haven't actually bought from Tilly and the Buttons. I've got loads of their patterns, but that's one pattern that I actually don't have. So I'm looking forward to giving that a try. So on to fabric. I have been buying more fabric. I talked last weekend about buying the bundle from Studio Jepson because the lovely Faye is not going to be selling fabric for much longer. So I wanted to grab some fabric from her that I could sew up across the year because I love all of her fabrics and her customer service is just incredible. So a massive bundle of fabric arrived. And I ripped it open and I was really excited about going through all the various things that have been included in the bundle. So thank you, Faye. You've really thought carefully about all the beautiful fabrics that you've popped in my bundle. And there's so much fabric for the price that I paid. So really, really generous bundles. I think she's still doing bundles. I think she's doing £50 bundles and £25 bundles. So if you go onto Instagram and just send her a message if you're interested, she'll send you the link so that you can buy one of her bundles. So this was my bundle that arrived. And I've got a few bits that aren't sort of dressmaking fabrics. I got this, which is like embroidery boards in different colours, and then some embroidery threads. And then I also got some of this, I think it's called Binker. And I know that this will come in handy at school if I don't use it at home with Ruby and Lola. And then I've got some absolutely gorgeous fabrics. So I've got this almost like a sort of leopard print. It's really lovely. I think it's like a viscose linen. It's got the texture of a linen, but it's really, really drapey. If I hold it up, you can see. And I think this would make a really nice skirt, or I did think maybe some culottes. It's got a really lovely amount of drape. Or maybe just a blouse. I think I've got about 2 meters of that fabric, and I've got a couple of pieces of fabric that are quite generous in length. So this actually might be better as a dress to really utilize the length of fabric that I've got. And then I've got this. I don't know what type of fabric this is. What does it say? It doesn't, oh, it's a satin. And it's in like a blush pink. And then it's got, they remind me of like wishes, like dandelion wishes that you blow and make a wish on. That's what they remind me of. I have to admit that blush pink is not a colour that I would usually choose for myself. I'm not sure it goes with my skin tone. So this may end up being turned into something for maybe my mum. It's a satin, so it feels like it would make a really luxurious dressing gown. So actually I might turn it into a dressing gown for myself. I don't think it's a fabric that I would turn into something that I would wear out of the house, just because it's not a colour that I would usually go for, but it is beautiful. Or it would make a really lovely lining of a coat actually, because it's that sort of slippy kind of texture of a fabric. So it may be one that I keep hold of and use as a lining of a coat. But it's absolutely beautiful and it's really silky and soft. And again, I think I've got about 1.5 meters of that fabric. And then I've got a couple of pieces of Christmas fabric, which I absolutely love. These are going to go away until next year. And then I'm going to turn them into something for next year. I'm not quite sure what yet, but they're cotton poplins. That's a really fun sort of cartoony Christmassy fabric. And then I've got this one, which has got Christmas jumpers all over it, which I absolutely love. I think this is really cute. And this would make a really lovely skirt, I think, if I've got enough fabric. I think I would have enough fabric to turn this into a really fun Christmas skirt. I really love all those different Christmas jumpers all over it. Then I also got this gorgeous animal print. It's got koala bears all over it. It's absolutely beautiful. And I think when I opened this, Lola absolutely loved the really cute koalas. So it's probably going to be turned into a skirt for Lola, and it's a cotton poplin again. I'll probably use the flat fronted skirts by Alice Irvine because I've sewn that up a few times for Lola. So I think this is going to end up being a skirt for her. Then I've also got, this feels like a cotton jersey, and this is really cute. This might make a really lovely Agnes top, maybe for Lola. This is right up Lola Street. It's got unicorns and bunny rabbits, and it looks like it's got birds on and leaves and things. I really love the sort of mint green with the baby pink. And I've got enough to turn that into a top for Lola. I'll probably use the Agnes top because I took Lola shopping a few weeks ago and she's been choosing tops that have kind of got that ruched sweetheart neckline. So I think I might turn that into a t-shirt for Lola. Then this is my favourite fabric that's been included. Absolutely beautiful. It's a rib knit fabric. I love those colours. It's sort of a plum colour, kind of like a peachy pink, black and white, and it's striped. I'm not sure how much I've got of this actually. I haven't opened it up yet. I think there's about 1.5 meters, and I think I'm going to turn this into the True Bias Nico top with long sleeves, and I think that would go really nicely with my dungarees. I really love this fabric. I think it's absolutely gorgeous, and I love a rib knit. And then I also got this really beautiful, I don't know what type of fabric this is either. I don't know if it says on there, but it's absolutely gorgeous. It kind of feels like it's got a bit of texture to it. It's really lightweight, and I think this would make a really beautiful blouse perhaps. It's got all these sort of flowers and leaves all over it, and then it's got gold all over it too. It's really beautiful, really interesting. I think that would make a really pretty blouse for the spring summer. That's really beautiful. And then I've got this really lovely panel, which is like a doll that you cut out and sew up and then stuff with some stuffing, and I have got some stuffing. And I think that would make a really cute addition to school with all the dollies that I've got. So I'm going to have lots and lots of fun cutting that out and sewing it up. And then I've got plenty of time to sew this up, but I've got an advent calendar panel, which I'm really looking forward to having a go at sewing up. And then I've got some fabric to go with that, and then some wadding to go with it as well. So I got a huge amount of fabric in the bundle, so thank you, Faye. It was really exciting opening it and going through it and seeing all the beautiful fabrics. And I've got a real variety of fabrics that I can use not just for myself but also for my family. So thank you for those gorgeous fabrics, and some of them I've already got firm plans for, which I'm very excited about. And then I've also been buying some fabric from Sew Me Sunshine because they had a sale on towards the end of January, and there was a discount code that you could use. And there was a couple of fabrics that I've been eyeing up. When I went to the, they had like an open evening in December, and I bought some sweatshirting fabric to sew up a jumper and some joggers for myself. The joggers actually don't fit me, and now Ruby's got them. Put a picture in of her wearing the joggers. So when I went to the open evening, I got to stroke all the fabrics, I got to have a look at all the fabrics, and I bought some sweatshirting fabric for myself, and then I also bought some denim fabric to sew up some dungarees for Ruby and Lola, which I'm yet to sew up. I might get those cut out over half term. And when I was there was 2 fabrics that really caught my eye, but I didn't really feel like I needed them at the time. But I don't know if you do this when you go and actually get to look at fabric. You're kind of tempted to buy everything. So I resisted, and I was really good, and I bought the fabric that I went for, and then fabric for Ruby and Lola. But I haven't been able to shake off these 2 beautiful fabrics that I could see in the shop. And then they were put into the sale section of the Sew Me Sunshine website, where there's like remnants and also sale fabrics. So they were already discounted anyway, and then with the discount on top of that, they were actually a bargain. And because I just couldn't stop thinking about these fabrics, I thought actually I'm going to buy them. One of them is a really interesting fabric. I've written down actually the information from their website because it's a fabric that I've never come across before, and it's described as silver chains, and it's a lace fabric, but it's not like a really delicate lace. I bought 2 meters because it was on a really good price anyway, and then with the discount on top of it, it was a bargain. They've suggested using it to make a top or using it as sleeves within a garment that you're sewing up. It's a special fabric that's been woven together with beige coloured threads that loop around each other, and it makes the fabric look like it's beaded, and it looks like it's got this sort of chain-like appearance, but it hasn't. It's actually quite a soft fabric. It doesn't feel itchy when you sort of put it on your skin. It has got a bit of a rough texture because of the way that it's been created, but it's such a beautiful fabric and it's really interesting. I'll open it up so you can see what it looks like, but you'll be able to see on one side, hopefully. I don't know if you'll be able to see it actually. But on one side it's sort of more beige, where you can see the beige threads that have gone sort of through it. And then on the other side, that's where it's like chain-like. I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but there's like tiny little circles which look like they're metallic, but they're not metallic at all. It's a really interesting fabric. Reminds me of like cobwebs. It's really beautiful fabric. I've not seen anything like this before. I've got 2 meters of it. I first of all thought I would sew it up, turn it into a top with maybe some big voluminous sleeves. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with it, but it was just one of those fabrics that I couldn't stop thinking about. It'll probably just go in my stash and the right project will come along at the right moment, I'm sure. And then I was also thinking it might work really nicely as like an overlay to a skirt. So if I had like, I don't know, black fabric underneath or a grey fabric underneath, and then this was almost like an overlay on a skirt, or an overlay as a dress. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to turn it into. I just couldn't stop thinking about this fabric, and when I saw it in the sale I thought actually it was fate, it was meant to be. So I've bought 2 meters. I am just going to put it away for now because I really don't have a clue what I'm going to turn it into, but it's such an unusual fabric and it's so beautiful, and it does actually feel quite soft. So that was the first fabric that I got from them. They have still got some of that in stock. I checked whilst I was making my notes for this video. The next one they have sold out of. I've been eyeing this fabric up for absolutely ages, and I've seen a couple of people use this fabric to turn it into gorgeous coats, and that is what I've got planned for this fabric. So this was described as hazelnut leopard stripe faux fur, and I bought 2 meters of this gorgeous fabric. It's so lovely and soft. Here it is. It's such a fun fabric. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's really interesting because it has got this stripe detail, and if I show you the inside, you can see the stripes on the inside too. Actually, I wondered if this satin fabric would work really nicely as a lining on the inside of that coat. Well, it's not even a coat yet, but that's what I want to turn it into. So I was thinking of turning it into a coat. I was thinking of using the Sew Over It cocoon coat pattern because I've sewn that up before and it has got a lining, but it doesn't have a zip. I don't know how easy it would be to put a zip in that coat. I basically just want to turn it into a coat that could be fully lined, and I want it to have a zip. I don't want it to have a hood, I don't think, because I've only got 2 meters of this fabric. But I think it would be a really great coat for like the springtime when hopefully we don't get too much rainy weather. I just love this fabric and it's so lovely and warm to wear that I just couldn't resist it. So this is going to go in my stash whilst I ponder what pattern I'm going to turn it into, but it's definitely going to become a coat. There's so much fluff coming off it as I'm showing you. It's such a stunning fabric. This was sold out, I'm afraid. They might have some other fur fabrics on their website, faux fur fabrics. So if they have, I'll link them down below for you. So that's all the fabric that I wanted to share with you today. And now on to a sewing challenge that I've seen. Well, it doesn't have to be a sewing challenge, I don't think. I've seen it over on Instagram. It's a challenge that's just for fun, and it's being run by Fine City Quilting. I'll link them down below so you can go and give them a follow if you haven't. This popped up, I think somebody must have shared it on their stories, and I thought it was a really great idea. So the idea is that we buy a fat quarter from an independent fabric shop and then post online something that you've made or your plans with the fat quarter and tagging the shop. And the idea behind it is that we are supporting all these small businesses that we absolutely love, whilst being mindful that we might not be able to spend the usual £30–40 on fabric that we would. But by buying a fat quarter, we're still supporting them. We're getting the message out there about the amazing independent fabric shops that we've got on Instagram and also online, and fabric shops that you can go and shop in person. And then creating something and being really creative with fat quarters. So you can post your make online, use the hashtag just a fat quarter, and tag the shop that you bought the fabric from. and it's just for fun, and it's just another way of trying to support all of the independent fabric shops that we've got out there that we all absolutely love, that are just really struggling at the moment. I just thought it was a really nice idea to support all of those amazing fabric shops without having to spend a huge amount of money. I just try and share as much as I can on Instagram when there's sales or when they've got new fabric drops and things. I try and share them in my stories, because Instagram over the last, well, probably over the last like year and a bit, has made it really difficult for those shops to really share their posts and get their messages out. This is a really nice idea of just celebrating all these amazing fabric shops. So I thought I'd let you know about that, just in case you haven't seen the hashtag or heard about the challenge. And then there's a new person that I've just followed on YouTube. She's only got 3 videos there so far. She's called So Sarah Style. Her first vlog is like an introduction to her channel, and then she's got a couple of other chatty sewing vlogs where she's talking about makes, toiles, fabrics that she's got. And I love finding new people on YouTube. So she's called Sarah, and her channel is So Sarah Style over on YouTube. So I link her channel down below so you can go and give her a little follow. And I've enjoyed watching the 3 videos so far, so I'm looking forward to seeing more videos from So Sarah Style over on YouTube. I'm also going to be filming a Q&A. I haven't done one for a really long time, so I'm going to put a question box on Instagram. So if you've got any questions for me, you can leave your question there, or you can leave a question down below. You can ask me anything. I'm happy to talk about family. I'm also happy to talk about my sewing. I'm happy to talk about baking, absolutely anything. If you do post a question that I don't want to answer, I will acknowledge the question, but I'm pretty open to answering any questions really. So if there are any questions you would like me to answer, pop them down below. I'm also going to put a photo and a little thing on my community tab if you've got any questions as well, so you could leave them there if you want to. And I'll get that filmed over February half term. So I've got 1 more week of work and then it's February half term. So I'll get the Q&A filmed over February half term. I may have to do it in 2 goes, depends on how many questions I get. I've done it before where I've had loads of questions and I've had to split it, so I'll see. But yeah, if you've got any questions you would like to ask me, please pop them down below, or ask me on Instagram or on the community tab when I pop a post up a little bit later. Thank you for your questions in advance. And then I always like to finish with sewing plans. So I'm definitely going to be using next week to get lots of prep done. I've already cut out, I'm just looking to see where I've left it here. I've already cut out the heather blazer for Ruby. So here it is in this amazing checkerboard fleece fabric. So I just need to get the lining cut out because I haven't done that yet. And then I was going through my stash before I filmed this video to see what sort of fabrics I would like to sew up in February half term, and I pulled this one out. I think because it's a really sunny day in London today, this has really made me think about spring. So I'm going to turn this into a top. I think I'm probably going to turn it into either the Friday Pattern Company Sagebrush top, or I'm going to turn it into the Anna Allen Anthea blouse. Let me know down below which top has got your vote. But I'm really keen to turn this into a really lovely blouse that I can wear with my jeans, my dungarees, my skirts, that kind of thing. And I'm really keen to get this sewn up ready for the spring sunshine that I'm really optimistically hoping that we get. Then I've had this fabric in my stash for a couple of years, and I'm not a massive fan of Valentine's Day, I'll be honest, but it does fall in half term, so I would be able to wear a lovely heart themed garment. I've got 3 meters of this fabric, so I feel like it needs to be a dress. And I'm not quite sure what pattern to use. I really love the floatiness and drapiness of this gorgeous fabric. It's a viscose fabric. It feels like a cotton lawn in terms of the sort of sheen that this fabric's got on there. So it feels really lovely to sort of drape myself in. I feel like it needs to be a dress, but I'm not quite sure what pattern to use. So I'd love your suggestions for what to turn this gorgeous fabric into. And I've got 3 meters of this fabric. So please let me know down below. And then I'm going to get this cut out, ready to sew up over February half term. I've got 2 fabrics in front of me that I've got firm plans for. And I am going to just use next week to get these projects cut out, because I'm definitely going to sew them up in February half term. And the first one is this, which is one of my Make 9 plans, this gorgeous bright floral denim, and I'm going to turn this into the I Am Sunshine jeans. I had them on the other day and I was reminded of how comfortable they are, so I'm definitely going to turn that into the I Am Sunshine jeans. And then this fabric I keep talking about is from Felicity Fabrics, Don't forget you can get 10% off if you do order with Felicity Fabrics, and they've got some new fabrics coming in the next week, I think, which are absolutely beautiful. So if you use the code Liz10, you'll get 10% off your order. But I'm going to be cutting out this canvas and I'm going to be turning it into the Cocoa Crafts hazelnut backpack, which I'm very excited about. All the hardware that I need to sew up the bag has arrived, and once I've sewn it up, I'll link where I got it from. I don't want to link it yet, just in case the hardware isn't good quality. It's arrived and it looks fine, but you know, sometimes when you start sewing with it, yeah, I want to actually experience using it before I tell you where I got it from. So I'm going to get that cut out. And then the final fabric that I want to get cut out, because it's got all these gorgeous hearts all over it, and again with Valentine's Day happening in half term, I want to turn this into a blouse. I think a blouse would be the best use of this fabric. I think with really lovely poofy sleeves. I'm not sure what pattern to use yet. I could use, I think I've talked about it before, the Wilder gown by Friday Pattern Company. Or I could use the New Craft House Everyday Dress and Top. And I've got 3 meters of this, so I might have enough of it to actually turn it into a really nice poofy gathered skirt as well. We'll see. But I definitely want to get this cut out and turned into something as well over half term. So lots and lots of plans as usual. If you've got any suggestions for this Love Heart fabric, please let me know down below. And if you've got any suggestions for this one as well, please let me know. And like I said, if you've got any questions for me, please pop them down below, because I'm going to film that Q&A over half term. So in about a week and a half's time, I'll probably sit down and get that filmed. I hope you've enjoyed this video and hearing what I've been getting up to, seeing all the lovely fabrics and hearing all my plans. So as I've been saying in my videos recently, all the likes to videos for any vloggers really do help get our videos out to lots of other people. So we really do appreciate all the likes and shares and the comments. Thank you as always for watching. I'll be back next week with my Wednesday vlog. I didn't have a Wednesday vlog this week because I had a really horrid migraine and I actually ended up having to take a few days off work, which I don't like to do, but it was a really, really horrid migraine. Like, it lingered for the rest of the week actually. So I didn't get a video out last Wednesday, but I have got a video already filmed that will come out on Wednesday. Thank you as always for watching. Take care and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.